Liverpool fans, something serious is happening in the transfer market. Two names have been strongly connected with Liverpool, Bradley Barcola and Bouaddi, but their stories are now moving in completely different directions. One could still be heading to Anfield, the other appears to be moving closer to Manchester City. So let's get into the latest situation. Bradley Barcola, Liverpool are still pushing. Let's start with the name Liverpool. Supporters are probably watching most closely right now. Bradley Barcola. The PSG winger remains a major Liverpool target, and today's reports indicate that Liverpool are ready to make another move for the French international. This comes after PSG strengthened their attack by signing Mika Götze from Ajax for around €45 million. And that is important. Why? Because PSG are now adding more attacking options while Barcola's future remains uncertain. ESPN reports that Barcola has slipped down the pecking order as PSG continue to strengthen their forward line with players including Götze, Magnus Akliouche and Ferran Torres. That has given Liverpool renewed hope. But there is one big problem: Liverpool still have to convince PSG. This is where the transfer becomes complicated. PSG value Barcola extremely highly. Earlier reports suggested that PSG wanted a fee around the £140 million mark, while Liverpool's valuation has been significantly lower. There are now reports that PSG could potentially reduce their asking price to around £125 million. But let's be very clear, £125 million is not a confirmed final price agreed between Liverpool and PSG. It is a reported possible reduction, so Liverpool still have negotiations to complete. And there is another huge boost for Liverpool. There is also the issue of Barcola's personal terms. Reports have claimed that Liverpool have already reached an agreement with Barcola over personal terms for a 5-year contract. But that does not mean Barcola is a Liverpool player yet. The important part is still missing. Liverpool need an agreement with PSG. Until the clubs agree on the transfer fee and the necessary paperwork is completed, this remains a transfer negotiation. That distinction is very important. PSG are also rebuilding their attack. PSG have been extremely active. They have been linked with, and in some cases agreed deals for, several attacking players. One major development is their agreement in principle with Barcelona for Ferran Torres, reportedly worth around £42.75 million. Liverpool themselves have highlighted this deal as something that could have implications for Barcola's future. Now, PSG have also added Mika Götze. That makes the competition for attacking positions even stronger, and that is exactly why Liverpool believe there may be an opportunity. Liverpool's plan. Liverpool are not simply waiting. The latest reports say the Reds are preparing to make another move. The message is clear: Liverpool want Barcola. They believe he can give the attack something different. Speed, directness, dribbling, one-on-one ability, and the ability to attack space behind defenders. At just 23, Barcola also fits the profile of a player who can become an important part of Liverpool's attack for years. Now let's talk about Bouaddi. The Bouaddi situation is very different. Liverpool have been interested in the Lille midfielder. There has even been previous reporting of direct contact between Liverpool and the player's camp. But Manchester City have now taken the lead. And this is not just speculation. Sky Sports reports that personal terms have been in place for some time, while Manchester City and Lille continue working toward an agreement. Lille manager Davide Ancelotti has also confirmed that discussions over Bouaddi's sale to Manchester City are taking place. City are very close. Reports have placed the potential Bouaddi transfer at around £85 million. Other reports have suggested an even higher figure depending on the structure of the deal. But once again, the transfer is not official yet. Manchester City and Lille still have to finalise the agreement. So the correct way to describe the situation is Manchester City are closing in on Bouaddi, not Bouaddi has already signed for City. That difference matters. What does this mean for Liverpool? It could mean Liverpool are about to lose one target to one of their biggest Premier League rivals. Liverpool had interest in Bouaddi, Manchester City stepped up, and now City appear to be in the strongest position. For Liverpool fans, this is frustrating, because Bouaddi is exactly the type of young midfielder who could become a major player in European football, and if City sign him, Liverpool could eventually have to face him in the Premier League. But Barcola is a different story. This is where Liverpool fans can still be excited. The Barcola deal is alive. Liverpool are still pushing. The player has reportedly agreed personal terms. PSG are strengthening their attack. And there are reports that PSG could become more flexible on their asking price. Today's ESPN report says Liverpool are ready to make another move after PSG's signing of Götze. So the door is open, but Liverpool still need to walk through it. The big question, will Liverpool actually pay the huge fee PSG want? That is the question that could decide everything. Liverpool may believe Barcola is worth the investment. PSG may believe they can demand a massive fee because the player is still young and highly rated. And Liverpool know that if they want him badly enough, they may have to compromise. Final verdict. So Liverpool fans, here is the situation as of August 16th, 2026. Bradley Barcola, Liverpool are still pushing. Personal terms, reported as agreed. Liverpool versus PSG, transfer fee still needs to be resolved. PSG continuing to strengthen their attack, potentially creating more room for Barcola's departure. Bouaddi, Manchester City are currently in the strongest position. Personal terms with City reported as already in place. City and Lee still working toward the final agreement. So Liverpool could still get one of their biggest targets while watching another target move toward Manchester City. And that is exactly what makes this transfer window so interesting. Liverpool fans, your turn. If Liverpool could sign only one of these two players, would you choose Bradley Barcola or Bouaddi? Would you spend the huge money on Barcola, or would you fight Manchester City for Bouaddi until the very last moment? Tell me your choice in the comments. And if you want the latest Liverpool transfer news without the fake rumours and exaggerated headlines, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Because this story is not finished yet. Barcola to Liverpool? Bouaddi to Manchester City? The next few days could tell us everything. If you thought the story of Bradley Barcola and Bouaddi was already complicated, then you need to stay with me. Because this is where things become even more interesting. Liverpool are looking at two completely different situations. With Barcola, the door is still open. With Bouaddi, Manchester City appear to have taken control, but Liverpool still have decisions to make. And one question is becoming impossible to ignore. How badly do Liverpool actually want Bradley Barcola? Liverpool have a big decision to make. Let's imagine the situation from Liverpool's perspective. They have identified Barcola as a player who could transform their attack. They have reportedly reached an understanding with the player over personal terms. The player is attracted by the possibility of moving to Anfield. But then PSG put a huge price tag on the table. Now Liverpool have to decide whether they are willing to spend an enormous amount of money to make the deal happen. This is no longer about whether Liverpool like Barcola. They clearly do. The question is, how much are they willing to pay? Because PSG know exactly what they have. They have a young, talented French international who is still under contract. That gives PSG enormous negotiating power. The £125 million question. This is where Liverpool fans need to be careful. You may see headlines saying PSG have accepted £125 million. But that is not the situation we can confirm. The more accurate version is that reports suggest PSG could potentially reduce their demands toward £125 million. That is very different from saying Liverpool and PSG have agreed a £125 million transfer, so there is still work to do. And this is where Liverpool's negotiating team will be tested. If Liverpool can bring the price down, if they can structure the deal with achievable add-ons, if they can convince PSG that a huge sale now is better than keeping the player, then suddenly the transfer becomes much more realistic. Why Barcola could be so important. Now let's talk football. Why is Liverpool willing to consider such a huge investment? Because Barcola offers something that every elite team wants: explosiveness. He can receive the ball wide, he can attack a defender, he can accelerate into space, and he can create situations where defenders are forced to retreat. That changes the way an opponent defends. Instead of pushing forward aggressively, defenders have to worry about what happens if Barcola receives the ball with space. That creates opportunities for the players around him, and that's why this isn't simply about Barcola's goals or assists. It's about the problems he creates.